All right. All right. Let's see if this works. I'm going to test my audio to see if things are coming in. And things are working. We have sound, so there is already a big improvement from the last time where we didn't have any sound at all. Well, at least in the beginning. So, very much welcome, everybody. We're gonna wait a little bit until new people join in. Oh, damn it. I hope this is not too loud. I'm adjusting my microphone so it's right in front of my face instead of on the side. Let me double check which microphone that is coming in, but I do think it is the correct one. If you can hear me all right, then it should be all right. Vagrant. Damn it. I need to work on my spelling of names, or at least the pronunciation of names. Vagrant. Good evening. So, as you all know, we're going to talk about a little bit today about the Airsofter World Games that are upcoming in Sweden. And actually, it's not only in Sweden, but also in Belgium. But today we're going to talk about the Sweden part. Where is my... There it is. No, that's... Yes, my events. Let's go to the events. That's the game for Sweden. Hey, Carl. Good evening. Got good... Got kval. No? Got... Yeah, it's still kval. Got kval. Good kval? Got kval. Jag pratar lite svenska. Jag förstår svenska. Blah, 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 blah. We keep it in English because Mario's here and I don't want to talk Swedish. Well, I do want to talk Swedish, but not on this live stream. I'm going to keep it English because there's going to be Belgian people joining in. There's going to be people from all over the world joining in to listen in what the Airsofter World Games actually are. Because it's not only a game that is for in Sweden or Belgium. We're gonna do this all around the world. And yes, I know, Toothless, you don't speak any Swedish. So we're gonna do the same thing as we did before. Let me see if I can find my chat. Yes, let's see if it works. If, for example, we have a comment that I want to talk about, I'm gonna highlight it on the stream. And hopefully it works. We'll see if it pops up. There it is. And then it's going to pop up and then we can have a conversation about that so people actually know about which point that we're talking about, because there's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to talk about. And you know me, I get distracted from every comment that comes in and I have the chat open twice, so I'm going to close it at least once, so I I only see it once. If the chat goes down or whatever, let me know. And the live streaming part, I still have to get used to it. I do love to live stream stuff and explain whatever I'm doing. Good kväll. Good kväll. Buddha. Oh fuck, names. Oh damn. So there are a few things that we want to go over, and I'm gonna quickly go over them a little bit so you have an idea what will be saying. And if you have any questions, just put them in the chat, and then we're gonna go over them during the event or the live stream. Why do I want to do this live stream? Because I noticed that a lot of people don't know what the idea is behind the Airsofter World Games and what the Airsofter World Games actually are. So I'm not gonna only go over the reasons why. I'm gonna go over what is Airsofter World Games, what is Airsofter World a little bit. If you have specific questions about that, you can ask it in the chat. What we want to do with the Airsofter World platform, I can while I'm talking. I can't. Okay, I can't do two things at once. So, for example, for people that don't know what Airsofter World is, it is a global international airsoft platform, and this shows a little bit where we are working. We are working with 27 different countries at the same time to make airsoft bigger and better. Basically, that. So. What else we don't want to talk about? So we're going to talk about what is the Airsofter World Games, what is Airsofter World, why do we have the Airsofter World Games? We're going to go over the rule book because a lot of people ask me like, hey, it is a competition, but is it going to be like Speedsoft? Is it going to be target shooting? Is it what kind of competition can you do and still keep it mission based? We're going to go over that because we made a rule book to explain how we want to do that. So it is actually, no, Rob, we're not going to do it now. We're just going over the agenda, what we're going to talk about. We're not going to go into detail. Yes, listen to yourself. Then we're going to go over the rule book. There is the first draft version that we're going to go over. And then we're also going to go over the possible changes that we already have laying around that we want to test in the next test game. The timeline, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the game mode that we're going to do because we already tested it out in Belgium, and we're going to try to do similar game mode in Sweden. And that's why actually I have the Frusen map open here, so we can actually go over the mission that as you as a player will receive. We're going to go a little bit over the other stuff. I'm going to clear this because we're not talking about the Swedish stuff anymore. So let's see if it goes away. So this is what we're going to go over: the map itself, the game mode. Like, this is not fixed yet. There is still like a month to go, and there's going to be a lot of other things. Hey, City Man, how are you doing? And then the last thing that we want to talk about itself is the Sweden test game itself, and it's going to be where it is. Well, I already explained it. It's going to be in Frusen. When it's going to be, you know, that September. How it's going to be, I'm going to go over that, and we're going to talk about some other things that will happen during the game to make everything as interesting as possible. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I've been rambling on for 5 minutes. Let's get into the first point. And what is Airsofter World Games? Now, I do open up some tabs here. Let me start this first. So let's go. So this is already started. Yeah, I keep track of everything that I do, so I have an idea what I've been working on in the last hours and days and months. If the sun is getting too bright, I might have to change my camera settings. That's why I have it open on the side a little bit. But if you don't see my pretty face anymore, let me know, and I'll adjust my camera settings a little bit because I don't like the automatic ones. And okay, so there is the rule book. There is the what is it called again? It's the notes that we did from the previous game. We're gonna go over that. It's the first test mission, and it's the test games, the evaluation. As people know, and if people have been following me for a while, they know that I like to structurize as much as possible. So you can see a lot of things, and I also have like the evaluation document is like you can see it's like a full evaluation about the event. We're gonna go over that. So, what is the Airsofter World Games? Maybe I have to. Where can I start with this? Is there something in here that explains it? Draft. It is not. Oh yeah, it is about Airsoft World Games. So Airsoft World unites airsofters, organizers, shops, media, and associations. And Airsoft World Games is the completion of hard work by all those parties involved. And Airsoft World stands in its neutrality to organize Airsoft World Games in all partnering countries with support of organizers and associations. And that was a boring, difficult sentence telling you that basically we want to work together with everybody and involve the whole Airsoft community in this. Airsoft World has been doing a lot in the past to combine countries, but like I said, we've been talking with 28, 27, I don't know, a lot of countries about Airsoft and creating something together. It's already like 7 minutes. I'm already falling over my words. We have been having meetings to create an international airsoft federation with different countries and the associations from different countries. And Airsoft World Games is basically the child of all those partnerships working together to create an international competition. And to be able to have a reason to talk to each other. Airsoft World Games is a competition, mission-based competition for most of the airsoft that like we play mission-based games, and we want to do that in a competition. We want to actually I made a video about what Airsoft World Games is. There are a few things that are included, and I'm thinking like, what do I need to talk about? But I already know that I make a video about it. And there's also a thingy on my website. I think there is. Let me go just double check that for a little bit. My blogs, I already did that. Airsoft World Games, and is it the competition? There is no blog about it? Okay, I didn't make a blog about it. It's coming. The blog is coming. But in short, Airsoft World Games brings teams together, players together. For the player, it gives you a reason to train with your team to be better in what you do. You improve your communication. For your team, it makes sure that you have something to work towards. You have the competition that is coming. You have an international If you want to do something bigger in different countries, you can join up for the national games and then go up to the international games. So there is a reason to do stuff, not just go to a Sunday game and shoot on a Sunday without having a result about that. No, this is actually, you can train for that. You can work on your skills. You can improve your gear, and it makes you a better. No, like can I say better? It makes you a different airsofter because you spend more time in your hobby, and we want to keep players playing airsoft. And if we go to the same Sunday game every single Sunday or every week, every 2 weeks, eventually people stop playing because, well, it is boring. And Airsofter World is a way to bring fields to players because they can see the whole map, they can see everything on the map, and they can find games everywhere around the world, mostly in their own country. But if they want to go around the world, they can also find that. And with Airsofter World Games, that is actually what we want to do. We want to bring people to different countries. Then we work together with organizers because the Airsofter World game rulebook that we made can be used on every single field, because we want to work together with the organizers because they know the strengths of their fields, and we want to use those strengths and bring them in the competition. So players that come to that field for the first time, they actually feel like, okay, this is an awesome field with an awesome feature. I want to come here a Sunday and just play for having some fun. And also it will bring people to their fields because, well, if you know that the next game is going to be on Frusen, for example, you might want to check it out before the game, so you know a little bit about the layout, how everything is set up, how the ground feels if you're running on something, where the advantage points are. Something weird happened on my screen and I have no idea what happened. Something flipped. I don't know. It's still working. So for organizers, they bring people to their fields. It shows other people from the country that, oh, there is a field and they do this. It might be a very interesting thing. For sponsors and partners, marketing wise, it's a very interesting thing because it's a place where a lot of people come together to do something else than just shooting. You can promote your brand, you can work together, you can have a lot of stuff going on a day like that, and that's what we're going to aim for. Like on the test game, it's going to be quite simple because we want to test the scenario. We want to encourage the Swedish airsofters to be like, hey, this is something that I want to do. So that's why we have the test games, and then next year we want to make it bigger, better, and a lot more, whatever, everything included into that. So that is what the Airsofter World Games do it's a big cooperation between every single element in the airsoft community. I went over that. Yes, any questions about that, just like I said, put it in the chat and we will go over that. And if not, I will just keep talking and I will keep just going. Why Airsofter World Games? Well, actually, that's the same thing. What is Airsofter World Games? But where the Airsofter World Games is a mission-based, team-based competition with a lot of rules. Well, not that many. We would try to minimize it as much as possible. But let me go over the why Airsoft World Games to see if I forget something. If I forgot something. It's connecting Airsoft around the world. Check. Bring attention to Airsoft World and what we do. Check. Strengthen the connection between associations and organizers. Check. Team spirit. Yes, I went over that. Giving something more for Airsofters. Check. Unite Airsofters over the teams competing. Check. Live stream. Reach more people. Yes, we're going to talk about the live stream in a little bit. I have a different topic about the live stream. I'm going to talk about that and bring more people in contact with Airsoft, because it is very difficult to get people to go to a Sunday game and watch what is going on. During the Airsofter World Games, we're going to have a place where people can watch what is going on. They can ask questions. They can be, what is it? What's the English word for a person that goes to a game to watch? I don't know. You know what I mean, right? It's the person that goes to a game to watch what is going on. And this is actually where people can invite their family, people that want to get into Airsoft and they don't really know what it is. And they can spectator. Yes, thank you, Tootlets. That's the word that I was looking for. And they can be spectators for the game. Yes, thank you, Buddha. Now everybody's going to type spectator. Thank you for feeling me to make me feel stupid that I didn't got the word in my mind. So they can be spectators for the event itself, and that's where the live stream also comes in, because not everybody can travel to that location. We want to send everything to the people So bring airsoft in their houses. So if you're, I don't know where, you can just put up your YouTube and you can follow the live stream. And that's why I think the live stream is, yes, Carl. Oskodra. I'm not gonna try it. I already tried it. Okay, it might be wrong. Um, and I got so yeah, we want to bring airsoft to the people so they can figure out what it is, and by doing that, hopefully we bring more airsofters into the game, and that's what we need. We need more players so we can have more games on different locations. All right, that is why Airsoft World Games is so important, and why I really want to get this going. All right, the rule book. It's gonna be bright. Yes. Oh, yeah. There it is. It is bright. Let me see how the camera reacts to the brightness. We have delta in the back, by the way. Oh, yeah, it is bright. Yes, we're gonna keep it there. So the rule book, it is, if you go to the not that one, that's my Discord. If you go to the event itself and you go to rules, there is a link with the draft rule book. Now let me put this in the chat. I think I can do that, right? I can type in my own chat. Yes. So if you go to the Airsofter World event itself, there are a few things that you can do. Now you can here, I'm subscribed to the event because I'm hosting the event. You can subscribe to the event and then you get all the notification if there is a new discussion or somebody posts something about it, because we have a question and answers topic there. If I play something there, you get a notification in your Airsoft World profile about that update. For example, the questions that are here is, do I have to come with a full team? No, you can choose no team option and we will put you in a team. Can we come with more than 5? Yes, you can. A maximum amount of 7 people is allowed, and you need to rotate between the games. In between the games, not during the game. So if you're subscribed to the event, it doesn't mean you got a ticket. So if you want a ticket, then I have to open mine. Let me quickly go to it. Sweden test game. There we go. Oh, it goes to Sweden. We have one, I think, right? Yeah, we got a few here. So you can see I'm subscribed to the event. For you, it will look probably like this. Yeah, damn it. I have to get you. I can follow the event. So if I follow the event, I get updates about the event. And that's the important part. You can also see the players, how many we have. And as you can see, the Swedes are really afraid to start joining this. And I got a lot of questions, and that's why I wanted to do this live stream, so they understand what the reasoning behind everything is, and they can actually start joining up and getting filling up the slots. For me, I'm in the headquarters because I'm running the game and stuff. That's why my name is here. But I'm still subscribed to the event, and I get the updates. And as you can see, there are four people following the event, and the more people that follow it, the more updates that you will get. So the rule book is there. How do we get to the subscribe to it rules? Okay, so there is a draft rule book, and then there is the video that I made about what is Airsofter World Games and why, and then there is also the address, and the payment is Swish or cash on site. Now we're doing an update on the website to finally fix the payment thingy a little bit, so there is more and detailed information about the payment, and that is coming thanks to we got some funds and we can actually make a small update for you guys. And we see that we actually have a new player. Let me see who joined up, and we got Grim Reaper joining up for no team will be assigned to a team later. So that is what I meant. If you're not a full team and you don't know where we want to place you, you just pick the no team will be assigned to a team later. And then we can switch you around, and then I have to go back to my organizer account. Let's go to players. For organizers, you can follow up now and see how easy Airsoft World is to work with. I can switch him, for example, to teams and then put him in team 1. And then this we can do the whole event before the event, and we can make the teams like that. Now I'm going to put you back into... I think I've been clicking way too many times. I will put you back later. I will put you back later. Did I click too many times? Did I break it? Did I break it? Oh, there it is. There it is. I will put you back in the... teams. No team. That's where I needed to put you. No team will be assigned to team. And he jumps immediately to that location. So you're back where you put yourself, okay? No, they are linked. So I think that means it is fine. And thank you for testing my Swedish. It's fine. So rules, we went over that. And here, if you click on that, it will bring you to the rule book that I was going over here. So the rule book is 10 pages long, but we're already on page 4, and we just have the intro. Like the beginning is, it shows that it's version 1.0, that is the draft. The changes that have been made is like 8 months ago, because that's the last change that we did and put it online. I do have another version on my computer. Then there is the introduction and the summary and all the pages where you can find stuff. Then there is the introduction. The game is just a little bit of information about the game, the arena, that it can be any arena, the field boundaries. You can read through it. I'm just going to scroll through it really quick. Game registration is through each game. Okay, that's for the organizer itself. If you want to have an Airsofter World game itself, you need to send the approval to your association, and the associations are working together with Airsofter World in this case. And I know that Sweden doesn't have an association, so then they can directly work with Airsofter World itself if they want to send in their application. Because in 27 different countries, we have a small Airsofter World team that will take up that task if there is no association. So the mission, we created a small test mission, but they can actually send in their own missions they need to comply a little bit to what we want them to do and how we want to have the event, but they can come up with their own ideas. They need to test it a year, and then they can launch the game itself the next year. So we do require testing before they launch an event, and that's how we do it every year. And that's why we have a test year this year. I'm going to go over the timeline in a little bit. So the hit rules, no bang rule, no melee hits, how to act when you're hit, teams, there is team leader, equipment, and that's where it started becoming a little bit interesting, because each rifle needs to have a real steel counterpart. And if you're in doubt, you can always send it into your association or the person that is in charge of the Airsofter World game itself. And there are different weapon classes: rifle, pistol, shotgun, MG, and sniper. The MG and sniper, we don't use it right now because it is a CQB field, but we want to bring this to woodland fields also, and then it might be an option to have an MG or a sniper in your team of 5 people. You can this is something that we want to change, because replicas will be able to change players during a match. If you get a hit and your rifle is still there and somebody wants to use your rifle, that will be possible. We want to use 1.2 joules. Players are responsible for their own replicas and will be randomly checked. So if you're shooting over the limit, you will be checked before the game and stuff like that. And we still need to add some stuff too. Like, this is Dutch, I know. That's for me to add, because this is a draft version. BBs, if we're going to use tracers, if it's allowed. Magazines. Last time you allowed 40 rounds per magazine, and you can carry as many magazines on your body as you want. You need to have a chest rig. I think that comes in a little bit. Clothing and gear. Did we already had gear? Equipment, magazines. We'll probably get to that. Maximum limit per player. There is no maximum limit per player, because you can have as many magazines as you can carry with you. It's semi-only, 1 trigger pull, 1 shot, blind fire, blah, blah, blah. Then the normal stuff for Airsoft. We didn't do any crazy stuff. The clothing for this test game, don't look at that. Like, we want in the future, because it's going to be a team-based game, we want teams to be represented as a team. So we want them to have something that represent their team, and that can be the camouflage, it can be the same outfit, it can be the same chest rigs or plate carriers. Just, it needs to be a cohesive team. It cannot be we don't want to see jerseys and stuff. We want to see you rocking some really tactical stuff. That's basically what we want to do. You cannot use padding. A player is allowed to use elbow and knee protection. That they are. The padding we mean, because in Speedsoft they have like the padding on the wrist if they want to come around the corners and shoot each other a lot of times. We don't want that. We want just normal clothing. There are a few things that are prohibited: no burst, no binary triggers, no grenade launcher, no riot shields, no melee weapons, and no grenades. So that's where we are right now. And then marshals. We went over the tasks a little bit in the first test game. So, like I said, draft version, and we're still working on it. Basically, marshals have say over everything. You follow whatever they say. And then the scores at the end of the mission, there are 3 outcomes that you can have. It's a win, a lose, or a draw. And a draw is when nobody completed their mission, because it doesn't matter if you points scored during a mission are stated in the mission, for example, are eliminating the other team, and that can be scratched completely because we don't do that anymore. I need to change that. Collecting all mission objectives is the only thing that um, guarantees a point. If you completed the mission, you have a point. If you didn't complete the mission, you don't have a point. And only one of the two can complete the mission. And that's why there is a win and a loss. And a draw is if nobody completed their mission. There are penalties, and that's important. And we are still checking those penalties. We go over them every test game to see what is fair for the players. Because we have small, medium, and big player penalties, but we want to go to we want to go to team penalties. So if a player do something wrong, it's the team that is responsible for his players. We don't gonna exclude one player. It's gonna be the team that is gonna be excluded, because you are responsible for your players that you bring to your field. Well, if you like the test game, we have different players and joining groups and stuff. That's a little bit different. But in the competition itself, you're gonna be responsible as a team captain for your team. So if somebody in your team fucks up, you're responsible for your team. So it's your task to make sure that everybody behaves within the rule set. The reasoning behind that is we don't want one player to run off. We want to ban that player. No, because you play as a team and you bear a responsibility for your team. Your player might get a yellow card or red card or whatever that we want to use. We have no idea yet. That's why we're doing those test games. But it's still going to be your team that will bear the punishment completely for the acts of one player. And then the media is how we want to include the media into this. And like I told you, we want to bring Airsoft into the houses, in the players without him having to go out. That we want to spread out as much as possible, and that's why we need media partners. And there are a few media partners that are interested in working together with us because they feel the need to grow Airsoft around the world. And that is a rule book. This is the approximate rule book that we're going to use in September. Now, there's going to be an update, like I said, on the Airsofter World event. In the discussion, we're going to update the rule book that we're going to use on the game in September. It's going to be roughly the same. There's going to be a few differences, but if you have any questions, just go into the pre-event chat and ask your questions there. All right. We've been in this for 20 minutes, and there are no questions about the rule books. I hope everything is a little bit clear. If you have any questions, you know where to post them. I'm going to keep it open. If there are people having questions or whatever, I can jump back to it. So now we already did a test game in April in Belgium, and I made an evaluation about that. And basically, they all had fun. We had 4 teams, 2 teams of 5 players and 2 teams of 6 players, and they switched their players during the game. We played 16 matches, so it means that everybody plays against everybody. But depending on how many teams we have, we might have to change that a little bit. Because at some point you will not be able to play against everybody because this grows exponentially. So if you have 4 teams, I think you have 16 matches. If you have 8 teams, it's like a lot of matches that you have to play against everybody. And there is always a time concern or whatever. And maybe in the future, we want to have this, and that's for next year then. We want to have this a full weekend so people can arrive on Friday and they can go back home on Sunday. And then, for example, the Sunday we can have the finals, and on Saturday we can have the qualifiers. And on Sunday, then we have make it a big event. That's what we want to do in the future. But now the test game, if we have, depending on how many teams we're going to have different rounds. And a few things that we want to change, and I can go over that because I'm me, and I'm always going off topic somewhere, is that we have blocks here. I call it blocks, like the first 4, second 4, third 4, and fourth 4. That's so funny to explain. And a suggestion that came from one of the players was that we like that we have limited ammo, but it would be fun if we can have limited reloads. And I was like, okay, how can we do that? And one of the solutions that we're going to do, and we're going to start using it in the first test game here in Sweden, is that we're going to have blocks, and you can only refill your magazines after a block. So you will have run like 2 or 3 games, and then you will be able to reload your magazines. It will create a extra tactical decisions that you need to make with your team. You need to ask your people, okay, how many times that you shoot, how many magazines do you have, do you need to switch magazines? Because within the team you can like switch stuff whatever you want, but as a player you cannot not go back and reload your magazines with BBs. You need to think, what do I need for the upcoming games that I'm going to play? And if you run out of BBs, well, then you need to work together as a team to make sure that the guy with, oh, I bumped my microphone, with the lowest amount of BBs is not the one suppressing the enemy, because that's not a, well, you can do whatever you want. That's your decision. The scores, so we changed some stuff up on the scenario, and that's why it's important to have a test game. And in the first matches, we saw a lot of wins on the task force side because, well, they knew where the objectives, they didn't know where the objectives were, and they didn't manage to get it, and task force managed to stop them. That was basically why we have the wins and losses. So task force, I think a win was what was it? Oh, 0. The points are 1 is when it's a draw, and 3 is if you have a win. So there was a lot of wins in the. No, it was a lot of draws. So all the ones are draws. Yeah, I need to think what I made. And then the numbers are the teams that played. So team 3 played as task force against team 2. So as you can see, team 3 played 1, 2 matches, 3 matches, and then they could go reload. That's for the Sweden game. And then you can see the next game, the looters won all the games. So we had to adjust the scenario a little bit more to make sure it was more balanced. Then the third block, we had win, loss, win, loss. So it was starting to get balanced. But then we needed to look on, is it the same team that's always winning? And we saw that like team 4 was doing really well. They were winning a lot of matches. But here they lost one of the matches, but the other one they won. So in block 3, we find a very good scenario. And then in the fourth one, we changed some stuff up again to see if it made a lot of difference on the things that we made. And again, it's a quite balanced. So the first one you can see, and they were playing the same scenario, the same people. And in the first one, we have a lot of draws. Then we have a lot of wins for the looters. And from the third block, it started to get balanced. And that's why, again, that's why we have the team, the test games. So there I explain a little bit more about it, the location, the mission, the replicas. Many rifles were sometimes switched to for pistols. Okay, that's we dealt with that financial part, and then the evaluation. And as you can see, we had about 20 players, 12 players filled in the evaluation. So for the people that don't know what the evaluation is, if we go now to the test game. Every person that registered for a game, they have the opportunity to fill in an evaluation. So, and then you get a statistics for the game. And as you can see, 14 players in the meantime filled in their evaluation for that game. And every game has that. I organized another game, I think the Frusen one. Let's go to that one, the first one at Frusen. If I go to those statistics, you can see that 8 players from the 11, because we didn't have that many players, but we had an awesome day. They filled in the evaluation. And for me as an organizer, it gives a good vision on how they had fun that day. And this was good. I really like that. So we went that. So that's the evaluation. It's another thing. Like you will see that I will use Airsofter World a lot to show things, because a lot of stuff is working because Airsofter World is doing their thing. So we went over that. Yes. Oh, that's the same rule book. All right. I thought we had a mission also. First test mission. Okay, I just opened it again. So this is the notes that I made for the previous game. I'm just going to go over some documents. If you want to go over the mission itself on the Saturday, let me know. If I'm talking too much, also let me know. But I wanted to show you how we set up the whole thing, so we understand where we come from, what we do, and where we want to go to in the future. So there is some stuff that is needed. We need a head marshal, some other people working on it. And then I explain what we need, player identification, how We're gonna do that because we want to have numbers, the use of armbands. We were discussing that if we're gonna use armbands, yes or no, and we're gonna do it again in the test game. We're gonna play with or without. If the teams are really distinct, I don't know. If you can tell the difference between two teams, then you don't need armbands. But sometimes two teams show up in the same camouflage, and then we just be like, okay, one team wears an armband, the other one, or like one red, one blue, whatever. Then one of the changes is in the equipment. That's the thing that we need. That is going to be added in the new rulebook. And a plate carrier or chest rig is mandatory, and a minimum of 4 mags for your primary that needs to be able to fit your chest rig or your plate carrier. A belt can be used as an additional item. And here we can see that we already did an update. BBs per magazine, 40, total BBs per person, 300. And that's what we're going to test. We're going to see if that is necessary or not, because we want to go to, you can do whatever you want. Secondary BBs, maximum 25, total BBs per person, 50 means you can run 2 magazines or 3, depending on the size of your magazines. And that's a suggestion that I talked about. The magazines can be shared. Mag adapters are not allowed, so you cannot run around with a high kappa with an M4 mag underneath it. What we do allow is, like, if you have an M4 with a 9mm conversion kit underneath it, those things exist. You can use that. That's not a problem. But you cannot run your shotgun with an M4 mag. That will not be allowed. It need to have a counterpart, and in doubt, contact us. Goggles, that's just changing some things that we need to do. We want, what's it? It is advised to wear full face protection just to protect your face, because it's gonna be, there is a lot of shooting going on. Then we're gonna talk about how we want to do the competition and the mission cycle and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in this document. It's a little bit of boring. It's for me to have an idea on how we're gonna do the next one. So I'm gonna use this for the next game and add some new stuff to test out. So I can close that one. I can close that one. I can close that one. What's the reason for making plate carriers, chest rigs mandatory? Because we want, so chest rigs and plate carriers are mandatory. Now, a load-bearing system, like if you have everything on your big belt, and not like a Speedsoft belt, but a big belt with big pouches, then we allow it. Because we want to go away from super light kits. Like, you can wear the micro chest rigs, that's totally fine, but we want to have the difference between the Speedsoft that just run whatever what you want. And we want to go to make it as tactical as possible, make it simulation as possible by using the gear that is that other people also use to do the things that we want to try to do. And by having a chest rig or plate carrier, I need to click on that, right? I forgot about that. And by having a chest rig or plate carrier mandatory, it's the minimum thing that we request from the players that they wear. I hope that was a little bit clear why we did that. It was also actually a request from the players because they don't want people running around with a pistol in a hoodie, basically. It's not a disadvantage, it's the style that we want to go to. Yes, you make it more milsim. You make it more, I don't want to say milsim, you just make it more simulation like. And there's a big thing that I like. I have a lot of respect for Speedsoft arenas and stuff like that, and Speedsoft people. But in Speedsoft, they use whatever they want to score their points. And what we want to do with Airsofter World Games is we want to give it some guidance in the simulation that is Airsoft. Now, Airsoft, most of us know it as a simulation game, and we want to stay in that. And the closest thing and the smallest thing that we can do is, okay, just chest rigs or plate carriers are mandatory, and that already excludes most of the problems that we will have. So let me see in my table, the rule book, I went over that. Yes. All right. Did we already go over the mission? Yeah. Carl, I like to call it milsim in a box. Yeah, you did. That was really nice. I really like that name that you gave to it, because it is a simulation game, and it actually, yeah, let's go over that a little bit. Of course, I'm going somewhere else with this. Um, the whole thing exists out of three parts. So it's not only the shooting part that is important. There is the preparation phase where you plan your mission. So you will get a map. Let's go here. Let's go over the mission, for example. If this is working, I will take pink. Can I take pink? Can I take pink? Cancel. X. All right. So for example, the mission that we played last time was. Now I have to go back here. You want it more of a tactical game than just rushing in and shooting as much as you can. Yes, it is a team-based game. And I know like the speed stuff is also team-based, but it's mostly about the shooting part. And here I want you to think about where to go. And I know in speed stuff they also have a plan. There are people standing behind the thingy supporting the players that are rushing forward. Here I want you to move more as a team. But thank you for the subscription, follow. Don't forget to subscribe on the channel and like the video. I always forget that. So, where was it going with this? Oh yeah, the mission. So here we had the Ars Alpha box, which had RFID tags, and there were 30, 15, 15 pieces. I don't remember. I think we had 30 pieces everywhere around the field. And the looters, they needed to collect all those tags and need to bring it to a box. They needed to scan it. And if they have 30 tags, the box said to the loot, and they could take the box to an exit. And the task force needed to, like, this is not being used anymore. I can also scratch that. That was an option, but it's not working anymore. We started with 30. Okay, yeah, 30. That's my prep work that I need to do. And basically the task force, there was a key slot in the Ars Alpha box. They just needed to turn off the box. And if they turned off the box, they won and the looters lost. And if the looters were able to collect all the dots or the tags and bring them to the box, they won. No, they needed to bring the box to the exfil and then they won. And the task force we started off with a 30-second delay, then we changed it to 20 and then to 10, and then the 10 was a nice sweet spot. So in the Sweden test game, we again gonna change the timings, the amount of tags that there are. So we're gonna do a lot of changes to see what scenario works that we then can use for the national game next year. I will not go to the timeline now. I'm already doing one thing. We will go to the timeline later. So that's the game itself, and that's why I opened up the map. So for example, this is the Frusen Arena where we're gonna have the game itself. And one thing that I'm playing with is the infill. And I had a good idea, and I want your opinion about this because there is options in this field. It is a lot of containers, and of course we're gonna use the middle field because that makes it more fun to play here. So probably the first team, the looters are going to start in the middle, and all the tags are going to be around the center of this field. And they're going to be in the containers, in the cars, and we will have a map of all the tags that are in the field. Now, because on the other field it was quite easy. The task force started below, and there were two staircases that the looters can block. But here we have a lot more opportunities. So my idea that I had today was, what if we can start the task force here, and they have a car, and they can have 4 different entry spots. One here, one here, one here, and one here. And it's up to the task force to choose where they want the car to be dropping them off. And the looters, they don't know where the car is going to be. They know that there's going to be task force coming because that's how they plan. And then with a small delay, like say 10-second delay, then the car can move up to the position of choice. And depending on what the looters want as a starting position, that's a wrong one. It is showing. Yes, it is showing. I'm going to clear this first. Yes, all right. And while they are collecting the tags, then they need to react to wrong one. Then when they are collecting the tags, they need to react to the force incoming. And for the task force, they can run however they want. They can decide, okay, we're going to send 2, 3 people here, and then the other ones are going to go in here and clear this side out and try to take the box here and disarm the box. For the looters, the end game will be, if I find a car that wants to do that, I want to drive the car up here, and then the car will be standing here, and that will be the exfil. If the box can be inserted in the car and the car can drive out, that is a win for the looters. So that is how the scenario will go. So that will bring us back to where I started the story. There are 3 parts of this. Every team will be able to have, they will have maps that they can draw on, and they can make battle plans. They will have the area where everything can unfold, but it's up to them to make that. And that's the first plan. That's the first step of executing the mission. You need to plan your mission. And then you need to look to your opponent, because every opponent that you're going to play to, you need to watch them, how they play. And that brings us to the competition part. You need to look at what rifles are they using. Are they switching to pistols? Are they really fast players? Do they split up a lot? Do they stick together? And use that in your advantage. So the planning phase is a very important phase. And then you go to the second phase, that is the execution. And yes, the execution is maximum of 10 minutes. And it doesn't sound long. It's a maximum of 10 minutes. And if that timer runs out, it means that nobody won. It's a draw. And then after that, they go back to the debrief room, and they get debrief. They debrief their own team, and they start planning again for the next one. So while it's only 10-minute game time, execution time, maximum execution time, you're constantly rearranging your plans. You're trying different infill options. For example, the first time you're like, that didn't work on this side. You know what? We're going to make a whole new plan, and this one, yes. You know what? Instead of having the entry here, let's bring the car up here, because there is like cover here, and we can push in like on those 2 sides instead of having one team going in here and one team going in here. And for the looters, it's the same thing. They can be like, okay, you know what? They're coming in from this side. You know what? Let's clear this side first from all the tags, and then we can stop the attackers from wherever they come, and then we can focus on the tags here, because you need to collect all the tags. So it is you need to work with the scenario that you have. And once you have your battle plan, there is not a lot of time to whatever. Go away from your battle plan. Whatever. There is a word for that. What the fuck? What's the word? Go away from your, I don't know. You know what I mean, right? There is a lot of stuff going on. I know Toothless was there the last time, and I think he can agree that you're deviate. Yes, that's the word. Thank you. Deviate from the plan. And I think you can confirm that there is a thank you. Thank you. There is a lot of stuff happening along the way before you can go out again and run this game. So what usually will happen, let me see if I can add a new layer so I don't fuck up the layer. So the safe zone will be here. So this will be the loading area where everybody load his magazines and stuff like that. And I'm trying to figure out how I can get people to watch closer, and that I need to see how we can do that safely without interrupting with everything. I know there is a double container here where people can stand up, a smaller one here, and I don't know if they can be here or here. But that would be really nice if people can, planning first and 10 minutes execution time is long enough and can be exhausting. Yeah, and then you have to do the debriefing, and then you can start working on the next one. Okay, who are we playing against? Okay, we're playing against this team. Oh, fuck, okay. Did anybody see them play? And then you can start working on your new plan. Because of this, we have a view on the field, and then spectators can see what is going on. Now, it is still quite a distance away from the playing field itself. And that's why I want to go into the next part. And yeah, let's go over to the live stream, because I want to have cameras pointed here somewhere to bring the game here on a big TV where everybody can watch it, and also bring it to the people at home that they can see what is going on. And I want to make it with OBS, with some nice overlays, explaining what the people are doing, the teams that are coming, where are the teams coming from, what is their logo, how are they founded, and all that information. I wanted a really, with a commentator, a really nice live stream to the people at home, so everybody knows what is going on. And it also gives an opportunity for brands to have some banners up here that will be in the shots, so we can have partners working together on this. So that's the live stream that I want to do. And that's for some people that might have seen my Facebook. That's one of the reasons why I asked the question. Okay, I need some help with this. I need a good commentator. I need people that know something about cameras and how to integrate everything in this. So that's the live stream, because I want to bring this. More people want to do this. Everybody that I talked to, everybody that played it, really enjoyed this game, and we want to make it as an event. All right, I already went over the live stream. The timeline. Okay, timeline is very important. Let's do this, so people can actually follow what I'm saying, because people, I don't know why I don't do it anymore. Like 2024, that's where we are today. We do test games, testing. Why do we do testing? I explain it because we want to see if the scenarios work on the fields that we play. So for example, this is Sweden. 2024, we do testing. 2025, we will have a first national game. National game means that everybody around Sweden will be entering in this game, and it will be on the calendar for the Airsofter World International. It will be on the international Airsofter World calendar, where all the Airsofter World games will be listed. Then in 2026, now maybe before I go further, if you want to join the nationals, you need to have a test game. That's why 2024 is important, and that's why I urge all the associations, all the groups that want to, around the world, have a national game in 2025. You need to have a test game in 2024, because you need that to be able to set a good mission on your field. So if you did a test game in 2024, you're allowed to have a national game in 2025. Now, and if you have a national game in 2025, you will be able to join the international. Okay, I don't know. You will be able to join the international Airsofter World Games that we have no idea where it's going to be yet, but it's going to be somewhere in the world. Now, what will happen, for example, if, let us say, the Netherlands, because I don't know how fast they will be. I have a meeting planned with them next week, which I'm going to go over this again, to get them off their asses and start doing this, because they were interested in doing it. So hopefully we can get them on board. If not, I will just use it as an example. Let's say that they won't have a game in 2024. Now that means that their first testing will be in 2025. As fast as snail uphill. So that means that in 2025 they will have their first test game. So that means that their first national game, because yes, in 2026 there's also going to be national games, and Sweden might be testing a new scenario, and then they will enroll a new scenario, or new fields will try to join, and then they will have national games. So it's always that line of criteria that you need to follow. It's a 3-year plan to be able to join the international games. First, you need to test, and then in the next year you can have your nationals, and then the year after there is international. I'm not even trying anymore. I don't even know what word I wrote down, but you understand it, and that's always gonna be that way forward. And of course, Sweden can go to the next one. There's going to be national in 2026 and an international one. And in 2027 is going to be a national and testing national and international on different fields. So that is why it is important to think in the future. And that's what I want to do. And that's why I want to have one of those live streams to explain, okay, in 2024, that's why we call it a test game. because next year we're going to have the bigger national games and we're going to have the national events. We're also working on the national associations, the international associations, federation. So while we're doing that, we're already moving forward. I don't want to wait anymore. We need to get this going. And I had one in Belgium, and I want to do this in Sweden. And the next one in Belgium is the 15th of September. So that's the day after the one in Sweden. So that's the timeline. All right, timeline. Whew. We've been on it for an hour almost. Water break. Give me a second. Can we have a commercial? You know what? Commercial break. Use Ars Alpha. Ars Alpha is awesome. Go get your boxes as an organizer to upgrade your games to the next challenge and to the next level for your airsofters to have an amazing day. All right. And that's actually, let me see, game mode. We went over the test results. We did that. We went over the Sweden test game, how we're gonna run it. Like, I have no idea yet. So that is my idea with the car. I want to integrate something more, and I want to integrate a nice feature for the players, because every field has its features. Like, this is a container village, and there is a possibility to use a car in that area. So why not do it? Use the maximum of the field to create an awesome game. I did that. Sweden test game. So let me see. Where is it? Test game Sweden. So the date, September 14th. It's gonna be at Frusen. It's gonna start at 10 and it's gonna end at 4. That's what we plan. How can you enroll in the game? You just get a ticket, you sign up. Here there is a button. Now it says quit this event because I'm already enrolled, but it will be get a ticket. Then you will be switched into one of the teams. Then you will be like Grim Reaper and you will be joined in one of the teams. If you want to join with your team, you just jump in one of the teams. And if you don't have 5 people, like I said, you can just take 3 people and then we will just put somebody else in there. Like I said, test games, people need to get familiar with the concept, with the platform, and then next year we're gonna do a lot more. It will be a lot more structurized next year. That's why we use this test game. What else? How I did that live stream, I already talked about it. Now there's one thing that I want to do. I want to try. I know I just made a small commercial for Ars Alpha, but I do want to use Ars Alpha in this game, and I have no idea if it's gonna work, but I want to try it. How nice would it be if you can use this in your live stream? Look, this was from the Conquer Cancer game that I did the games for. Didn't organize, Berserker organized. I did the games, and you could follow the complete. You can follow everybody during the whole day. So see, the people were moving, and every 10 seconds there is an update. And because Frusen is an outdoor field, you can have people joining up on Ars Alpha, and it's not that there is a game. You just need to have a game running. They need to join in, and we can make, I think, like 10 different teams. So they all have their different color. And once they step on the game, you will be able to see where they are. There might be some glitches with the containers, but there will be a good idea of what is going on. And, oh, that's the wrong one. And that's what I want to try to see if it is useful to have Ars Alpha, because it will be awesome in the live stream to actually see where the players are going, and if they die, they will be stationary and stuff like that. So yeah, I want to try it to put Ars Alpha in this and see if it works, because we're going to use the box anyway. Now the points doesn't matter. We just reset it every time, but it's going to be the tracking of the player that might be interesting to see. They start here in the middle. Where's my brush? Where the fuck is my brush? Not that one. You know what? I need a new layer. It might be interesting to see that they might start here in the middle, and then you see the buttons or the player icons scatter over the whole map, and then you can see the car rolling in and stop here and then scatter everywhere. I think that's going to be an awesome thing to view. All right. I went over everything that I planned to talk about, and I think I kept it within an hour, which is, I kept it within reason. Well, there was also not a lot of questions, which made it a lot easier for me to not get too much distraction. Do we have any questions or things that you want me to go over a little bit more? Because that is the things that I wanted to talk about. Let me see if I have something else open. No, that's all the things that I wanted to talk about. We talked about the mission, we talked about what it is, how we're going to do it, but whose car shall we use? I don't know yet. Let's talk to Hendrik. Maybe he knows somebody. We probably will find somebody that has a car, and if we don't find a car, it is what it is. Um, we will see, and it might be that using the car is a big fuck up because of the placement of the containers, and I need to figure that out. I might go Sunday to Friesen to check it out and see if it is actually possible to use it like that, and if it's not, then we just come up with a different plan that they can choose their container to start out off, and then the other team doesn't know where they start, for example. That's another solution that we can use. So I don't know yet, but the car is nice to get an infill and an exfill, and they can use the same car for that. There might be somebody. I can bring a dozer or a wheel loader? It's fine, thank you. All right, then I think just use a golf cart small enough. I want them to have like the get out, and I want that because it creates an extra layer of awesomeness on the mission itself. Because then they actually need to think on how to disembark the vehicle. All right, I think I went over everything that I wanted to go over. I'm gonna wait a little bit if there are any more questions, and if not, I would say talk to your teams, get into the Airsofter World, follow the event for further updates, and if you have any more questions, you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, Airsofter World, email, whatever. You can go to my website. There is a contact form there if you don't know how to find me. If you do need to know a little bit of math, like you need to know like 19 plus 3, and it's not always the same. So it's not always going to be 22. So be aware. If you want to message me, you can do it here on my contact form, or you can use my Airsofter World profile, or you can use my Instagram, or you can use my Facebook, or you can use no YouTube. You can't use. I just wanted to show off my website and how nice it is. And did you know that you can see wherever I played around the world? Yeah, yeah. Capped is soft sand field. Those will just get stuck. Yeah, it is a soft sand field. All right, then. If there are no more questions coming in, I want to thank you all for joining in. And if, like I said, if you have more questions, you know where to find me. And I do look very much forward to this next test game, and we're gonna make it an awesome one. And I hope I can see a lot of people. I can see a lot of you there to have an amazing day. Oh, it's got dark. All right. Perfect time to stop. Have a good evening, and talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Where is my thingy? There it is.